Heads up! This podcast contains infrequent informal language. Please proceed with due caution.
This is Prompt Songs Podcast.
It's been a while.
Fuck you.
It's been a while.
It's true, and I always say it. Welcome to the last episode of this run, at least, of Prompt Songs.
Welcome, everybody.
We're in the same room, unlike last episode. Very special. Got a big episode to get through today, so quite a lot of material to get through. We're going to do some retrospective looking back at some of our favourite tunes. We're going to revisit some tunes and change them. But I think we're going to do our very special song that we worked on together but not together because of COVID restrictions. So what were the prompts for this one?
50s vibes.
50s vibes. And we decided to go for like Chuck Berry surf rock kind of.
Yeah, kind of surfy. And I think the lyric was just that it had to include Spongebob SquarePants references.
I think it said it had to contain 2, and then I went and like did 5 in the first verse.
I believe it said at least 2. So.
At least 2? I think I have the notes somewhere near here, but must make 2 SpongeBob references from Sam.
So we failed.
Well, we made 2, but it's one of those things where you could interpret it both ways.
Okay.
Either it has to be 2, and only 2, or there has to be 2 references.
At least.
And we can make as many as we want.
I mean, that makes more sense.
As the writer of the prompt, I'm happy with more than 2.
Okay, good. Well, I think when we were discussing it before we wrote the song, I was like, are we going to go full out and it's going to be a SpongeBob song? Or are we just going to like allude to 2 things
subtle,
like a pineapple under the sea or something? And Adam was like, let's keep it subtle. And then I had the first verse and I made like 5 references. The other 2 haven't heard the final mix. I think I kept it basically mono to keep it with the 50s tone. The drums are recorded with 1 mic, so the toms are really loud. And Sam's got a very clean guitar tone. And we all sing together and apart and in harmony. I think we agreed on the title of Jellyfishin.
Oh, yeah. Sounds good.
And here we go.
Out to get my baby on a Saturday night. Take her to a drive-in, gonna treat her right. Double feature, then we'll go to Jolly and dance. Love the way she moves inside of her sweatpants. My body is the style of her neighbor's the square. My boss obsessed with money, so he don't care. You don't have to try too hard. Play me a tune on that loud guitar. At the dance with you, we bounce and bop. Time for a refreshing soda pop. Late nights with you under the stars. I wonder if we'll ever go to Mars. All the time in the world to spend taking life for a whirl. You don't have to try too hard. Play me a tune on that loud guitar. Let's go jellyfishing, babe, gotta hold on tight. Jellyfishing, babe, till the night turns oh so bright. Hope you brought your net or else your poor heart could get stuck. Peanut butter, jellyfishing, everyone.
Bobby's feeling happy, gotta move his feet. Harry gotta move to a brand new beat. Will's eating burgers at the In-N-Out. Tallulah got a body that'll make me shout. I'm about to dance on a Saturday night. Crazy about a girl who is such a sight. Don't have to try too hard. Play me a tune on that loud guitar.
babe, till the night turns oh so bright. Hope you brought your net or else your poor heart could get stuck. Peanut butter, jellyfish and everyone meet you down at the ice cream shop. Cruise down to the beach, we'll dance till we drop. Surfing down the boulevard, 2 and 2. Got 2 tickets to the show, gonna save them for you. All the time in the world, just spend taking life for a whirl. You don't have to try too hard. Play me a tune on the loud guitar. You don't have to try too hard. Play me a tune on the loud guitar. You don't have to try too hard. Play me a tune on the loud guitar.
Cool.
That guitar solo was era appropriate.
Thanks.
Hell yeah. We did it, guys.
Yeah, I like the mix. It sounds pretty authentic.
Yeah, I was really worried about, like, there were 2 ways I could have gone. I could have just done a modern version
Right.
of what a 50s mix would be. But I really wanted to try, like, mono miking and mono mixing. And it was really helpful that you recorded your guitar very clean.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I basically just kept it clean.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should say the 3 of us weren't in the same room for any point of writing or recording this song.
No. Well, you guys didn't get together?
No, we recorded our parts all separately. We had a Zoom type call, other apps are available, where we basically just got together, agreed on what the song should be about, and then did some writing after we agreed on chords and BPM.
I think we wrote the chord structure and we sort of laid out the whole map of it.
Yeah.
And we wrote all the lyrics.
Yeah,
On
and my
that
granddad
first session.
arrived halfway through, but luckily I'd finished my verse, so I was like, hey, sorry guys, granddad's here, just got to accommodate him. And then by the time I got back, they had finished, and Sam did a guide for us, and then just sent it through the web to everyone, and you get the result that you just heard.
Yeah. I think it came together well considering that.
It was groovy as hell. When I was recording my vocals, there was the point where it gets to the instrumental and I go back to the floor tom, and I wanted to do that thing that the Beach Boys do of, like, when it gets to the instrumental, you just start walking back and forth in rhythm.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a whole decade later, but they're very influenced by this kind of music.
Yeah.
Shadows and Chuck Berry. And
Oh, yeah.
I was expecting you, because you said you were going to replace those last 3 little...
yeah, the
melodies
original
with
plan
different
was going to
things.
be, because it's a tag, which is when you repeat the last line 3 times
Yeah.
before you end. You don't have to try too hard, play me a tune on that loud guitar. Sam does a riff.
Do
You
that,
don't have-
do that.
Yeah, you don't have to try too hard. Play me a tune on whatever instrument Adam was going to feature, and then you don't have to try too hard. Play me a tune on. I was going to do the melodica, but I thought that would be a bit too out of character for 50s. Melodicas weren't
Oh, yeah.
big. Like if we had saxophone and a banjo or something.
Yeah, or like honky tonk piano.
Yeah,
Something like
pianist
that.
or something. But yeah, so I decided just to keep it as a tag. That would be, I'd say, the one thing that doesn't make it a 50 song is the duration. It's double the length of what it would be. But
Yeah, was it like 4 minutes or?
yeah, pretty much 4 minutes. And yeah,
The rockabilly band I play in, Boom Boom Deluxe. We have,
available on Spotify and other streams.
we have quite a few longer songs.
Are you a modern quartet?
Yeah.
I think it would be very rare to get a 45
Yeah.
of a song
Oh,
that's more than
heck
3
no.
minutes back in the 50s.
Definitely not.
Because Bohemian Rhapsody at the time, that was like, this is more than double what a single should be, and that was 6 minutes.
Yeah. But I think in the modern era, you can do what you want.
Yeah, you can be like Fishman's and have an entire album of one song that's 35 minutes.
Where does it stop being a song and start being something else?
Well, there's that piece that's still going on by John Cale, or Cage.
Cage.
I always get them confused, because they're both experimental songwriters. Cage is 433, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got one that's in a church and the organ's playing it, and it's going to carry on for the next 200 years or so.
Oh,
And it's called As Slow as Possible or something like that.
Oh, shoot.
well, he's paid the rent in advance or something.
Pretty much, yeah. And he's composed a piece like MIDI style that this organ's performing itself excruciatingly slow. So you can go to this church and listen to whatever note it happens to be in.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's when you get into the realms of, is this more art than music? Or is music something that's quite broad This is the kind of thing you get into topics about at university. When you're learning it, you scoff at it, and then you get older and you're like, there's a point to it. It's like when, what is it in English class? Media studies.
Oh, yeah.
And you watch The Shawshank Redemption, and it's the framing of the light of his window represents his freedom, and he's out of... And you watch it, and you're like, that's bullshit. And then you become a cinephile, and you watch it for that kind of stuff now. Anything else to add to that song?
Oh, I'm just generally happy with how it sounded.
Here's a question.
How
I
it
rolled
goes.
my bass tone right back. Was that the right thing to do, or was that more annoying than...
I think
Oh,
it was
no.
good.
It wasn't... Like, nothing was annoying about the bass tone, because it was all down to the mix approach, and for me what it was going to be was like ideally what it would have been if we had been in the same room was one mic, and we would have been in a corner of the room, and I would have put the mic, and that's how the tone would have been, and we would have had to adjust our tones ourselves. It's like, oh, that take doesn't have enough bass, or it needs more kick drum.
Yeah.
I just thought that, like, you know, the dead sound is kind of more old school, so I just rolled the tone right back.
P-bass, yeah.
I think what I ended up doing was I didn't do an amp sim, I did a DI, which just brings up the tone a little bit more.
Oh, okay.
And then I did something I never do, which is I put reverb on the bass, because that can wash it out if you put too much on, but I wanted it to sound like it was in the same room as the drums.
Oh, yeah, I see.
And then with Sam's guitar, pretty sure I didn't do an amps, maybe I did a very clean amp sim.
Did you... I sent it to you unaffected, eh?
Yes.
Because I had an amp that I had picked, but you probably wouldn't have heard that. Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, we're both on Logic, so yeah, I think I did.
Oh, I sent you the session.
Because you had the in-house one.
Was it a little bit... I think the one I had was a little bit crunchier on the lead.
Yeah, I think I brightened it up on the amp sim itself, and then I added the tape effect just to get the slap back.
Oh, yeah.
Which I threw on everything except for the drums and bass.
Yeah, you can pretty much put that in the master track.
Yeah.
That's how they did it, actually. I think slap back literally on the entire track.
Well, there's a band I love called The Bats, who are a local band, and there's a song, I think it was the one we're listening to, North by North.
North by North, yeah.
Towards the end of the song where they just start jamming, you can hear the engineer start to tweak the delay on the drums, and it starts doing like double hits.
Oh, okay.
Just to throw it out of the band, but it really works. And they just like slowly turn it in, and then they slowly bring it back out. And I was like, you should do an entire song with that effect on the drums. But then there's another track by another New Zealand band, Split Ends. It's called Titus. Is it Titus? No, it's Time for a Change, but that's forgivable because it's only our fucking favourite Split Ends song, Ryan. The drummer, Paul Crowther. Thank you. Yeah, Paul Crowther.
I saw him 2 days ago.
Oh, how is he?
Good.
He's a lovely man. Inventor of the hotcake pedal. He was the drummer for Split Ends. That was my favourite. But in the song Time for a Change, there's an effect where it sounds like there's a tape delay on the drums because it's so jarring and off-putting. And when I met Paul randomly, I was like, oh my god, it's Paul. And he sat me down, and for 5 minutes he talked about Split Ends with me. I mentioned Time for a Change. And I was like, oh, that was a really cool effect. And he was like, yeah, I was actually physically playing that. And like when you're a drummer and you hear that, you're like, how? That like goes against everything a drummer like wants to play. It'd be cool if I could play it, but copyright. Okay, on with our originals.
Did you want to go first, Adam? Or you don't want to go first, you said?
I went last.
You
first
go
last time.
ahead.
Okay. So my prompt was quite interesting for this one. The music style was Simon and Garfunkel, which I actually really enjoyed doing. It was quite nice. I just did one of their like really stripped back kind of acoustic song vibes. And then the lyric prompt was I wasn't allowed to use the letter E.
He says as I'm scanning the lyrics, looking for the E, a rogue E. That's a potential title.
Ryan
Rogue
also gave me the prompt Rain at Night. So it was actually quite helpful having a prompt because I was sitting there for ages thinking, how the heck am I going to write without the letter E? But then I just kind of kept the lyric structure really simple.
Did we draw Rain at Night, or did you ask for a prompt?
It was on the same
So that was
card.
quite handy that the prompt also didn't contain the letter E.
Yeah. You said that, Rain at Night because it doesn't have the letter E.
You're using some pretty big words.
Thanks.
My? No.
And yeah, I'm actually really happy with how this turned out. It's probably my favourite song I've done so far for this.
Spoilers.
Should I have saved that for later?
No, that's fine. What'd you call it, Sam?
Rain at Night.
Start outside, fog so bright, hazy car lights, rain at night. My focus is tight, staring into bright, transport in a fight, with rain at night. Mist, mystifying my path, traction diminishing, vision into imagination. Will I find my goal? Daring to turn right in that blinding light of the car that's now inside, in rain at night. Mystifying my path, traction diminishing, vision into imagination. Will I find my goal? Daring to turn right in that blinding light of a car that's now inside, in rain at night. Hazy car lights, rain at night, transport in a fight, with rain at night.
Wow. Wow. I'm in awe.
Transported to another place in my mind.
Man, that's, if I heard that song and someone was like, you know it's got no E's in it, I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
It's so
Whereas if it's a novel, you'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with this author?
Yeah.
It kind of sounds right. You know, it doesn't sound like it's missing E's.
Yeah. I guess just every time I thought of a word that had E, I mean, like Ryan said, it's quite short phrases and the rhyme is the same pretty much every line is
If
the
you
same.
find one
Light,
word like
bright,
sight, then you can get
bright.
away with a light, bright night.
Yeah. Some of the lines only have like 3 words.
3 great words, though.
Every time it had an E, I'd just like try and find another thing.
Thesaurus, but you can't use a thesaurus because it's got an E in it.
Yeah. It was
to use the
mainly
dictionary.
the shorter words that had E's like the. I just replaced the for that.
True conjunctions.
Oh, yeah.
He, she, they,
Yeah.
here, there.
A lot of those have E's, but I just either just took the conjunction out completely when it made sense or just swapped it with a different one.
So like English. Did you use a bit of word painting with traction diminishing? Did you play a diminished chord?
No.
Oh, missed opportunity.
Should have.
Yeah, I love the harmonies. I think that...
thanks. Yeah.
Very Simon and Garfunkel.
There's actually not very much harmony. It's just the third line of each bridge.
Yeah, I think that's when I heard that, I was like, ooh, hello.
Which I
do
think
that.
is the most effective thing, because if you were just to sing in harmony the whole way through, then there's nowhere to build to. Whereas it's when Garfunkel comes in, or when Simon comes in, that it really stands out as the duo.
Yeah, and they do that they do a lot of doubling, which
Yes,
I had,
yeah.
like most of the time I'm just doubling, and then they'll do quite interesting things like contrapuntal movement, which is what I did there, and
Yeah.
they've got kind of intricate ways of arranging it, but
Because they've got Sound of Silence where they're always in harmony, but that's kind of the anchor of the song. But then there's... This one is really reminding me of... It's not coming to my head, but there's a certain Simon and Garfunkel song that's in this sort of style, just acoustic guitar and the two of them singing. But yeah, they do that thing of singing the same note and then they break apart and then harmonise.
yeah. There's a song that I did, I rearranged it for my jazz recital at uni called April Come She Will. Sort of like this. I haven't listened to it in a while, but maybe I ripped it off. Who knows?
I just can't listen to Simon and Garfunkel or Simon and Garfunkel Tops without thinking of the Fly the Conchords episode where Art Garfunkel was in.
Oh, yeah.
And Jermaine's girlfriend makes him dress up as Garfunkel and she calls it Garfunkling. And then he opens the door because there's a knock at the door and it's Art Garfunkel. And Art Garfunkel's just confronted with himself. And so Jermaine turns around and says, Art Garfunkel's at the door.
Need to rewatch those.
So good. Well done.
Thanks.
Very good. Very beautiful. You or me.
Oh, I'll go.
Okay.
So I was allowed to use E's in mine.
Just no other letters.
It was Gary Numan, and the prompt was blackmail, the lyric prompt.
Were you a big Gary Numan fan before?
Not really. My mum was. It was a prompt from her out of the egg.
Because I only know Cars.
Cars, Friends Electric, you know that?
If I heard it, I
wait.
might. But anyway, I don't even listen to the original version of Cars. I listen to the Nine Inch Nails with Gary Numan version of Cars because that's fucking killer. What's the song called, Adam?
Black Page.
With my arm behind my back, hit my ribs, hear the crack again, and that was that. Would be preferable to this. My information's gone amiss, and now I'm dead and buried underneath my own remorse. Now my actions are forced, and they're not ordinary. Take my feet and throw me in. Drowning now would be a better way than suffocating. White letters on a black page, sign for you, my love. Mono's face, stereotype face. How come undone? How come undone? Twist my arm behind my back. Hit my ribs, hear the crack again, and that was that. Would be preferable to this. My information's gonna miss. White letters on a black page, sign for you, my love. Mono's face, stereotype face. How come undone? How come undone? White letters on the black page, sign for you, my love. Mono's face, stereotype face. How come undone? How come undone?
That was
Nice.
me on drums.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I started off with some mono synths because
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, do you play the synths live or do you program
no,
them?
I program them. I'm not that good.
You're very good
Keys.
at writing keys. One of the things that surprised me the most about your writing in this season has been how strong your keyboard lines have been.
Okay, if I could
Yeah.
play them, I would, but it's just like the limit of my brain power when I'm doing live takes on keys.
It's hard, eh?
Playing it live,
struggle.
yeah. I like writing them, and I can play them when I practice, but I just forget them the next day.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever listened to Gary Numan, so I can't really...
New Wave, he was kind of like one of the head figures of it.
Oh, yeah.
So very
Yeah,
synth
had a-
heavy, but not pop. He's more rock.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh, that means that. I like the
yeah.
bass
I
tone.
think what I did, I wasn't sure what to write, so I just basically opened Sibelius and started writing synth lines.
So you
and then I
write
just
them in
kind of-
Sibelius and then export the MIDI into...
Yeah, and then
okay,
I
cool.
adjust what's the letters?
ADSR,
ADSR, yeah.
attack, delay, sustain, release.
Yeah, decay, I believe.
Attack, decay, yeah.
Yeah.
Attack is how quickly the sound triggers. Decay is how quickly it falls
To the sustain level.
to the sustain level. And then sustain is how long it will sustain before it releases, which is
Yeah.
a different thing again.
I did try like side chaining it to like EQ and stuff, so that like when the attack hits, the EQ bumps up in the frequencies and stuff like that. But I couldn't quite get that working. That's what I did on my electropop one. Yep. And it gives that like sound.
Right.
Where it like opens up and closes with the attack of the note.
Did you do that on your bass sound as well? Or did you have like an envelope filter or something like that? Because it had quite a wah.
Is there even bass in this?
Yeah, slap bass.
Oh, yeah,
boom,
true.
Bear, boom, bear, boom.
Because
no, there was no... All I did was chuck some EQ on. I think it's just that kind of Stingray sound.
Maybe it's just when you pop, like the tops come through a lot more compared to your normal.
And because I played my Stingray, it's quite a toppy.
Right.
And then the strings are so old that only the highs come through and I, really whack it. So
and
I guess maybe
it's covering a lot of the bass frequency as well.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, it just sounded like a bit of an envelope filter, kind of like, whoa.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of,
That's what you use in a vocoder, a sidechain.
Oh, yeah.
You'll have a vocoder emulator, and then you'll sidechain the microphone. So your signal from your voice is what's triggering the effect.
Oh, yeah.
I just built on my synth lines. It doesn't sound super like Gary Numan, I think, but I kind of like listened to a couple of his songs and I wasn't that into it. So
it's a good starting point.
Yeah. I kind of just was like, oh, he uses monosynth, so I'll start from there. And I think the synth lines are quite Gary Numan. And then I kind of like built on it and was just like, oh, I want to do this.
I think that's also a good thing to do, is to take an artist that you don't necessarily enjoy and figure out how you would do what they do in a way that you enjoy. Because then you're thinking in ways that you've never thought before. Like we did with the Ed Sheeran one. Like all three of us wrote songs that I would happily listen to, but I wouldn't necessarily voluntarily listen to Ed Sheeran because I'm already forced to. Thank fuck he hasn't done a Christmas song.
Oh, yeah. There's only one good song at Christmas time.
And it's, of course, it's the famous All I Want for Christmas Is You Soulja Boy version. All I want for Christmas
Does that exist?
is you!
Soulja Boy, then.
Yeah, it's a fan edit.
Oh,
I heard one I heard recently was
sorry, of course, I mean the only one acceptable Christmas song is Christmas in New Zealand by Sam Swindell.
It's the one that I was referring to.
Oh, sorry, and the only other acceptable Christmas song is Christmas in LA.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Of course. Both instrumental and vocal. So my one, I had to do a ukulele funk, which is the thing.
Who came up with that prompt?
I think I did. I put it in the egg to try and trip one of you two up, and then I got it.
Backfired.
So ukulele funk, I could either play the ukulele in a funky way, or I would add ukulele to funk and make it work. I can't quite remember which one I did. Next to Sam, next to the dying cacti. I'm aware that this is an audio-only podcast. This is my electric ukulele, which I picked up from a music shop earlier this year. It's a metal tin with electrics built into it. It stays in tune pretty well for like a $300 ukulele. Electric ukulele.
Sick.
Yeah, it's kind of like a cigar box guitar, but a metal tin ukulele.
Yeah.
The lyric prompt was, "Is it just me or?" which is from Adam's mother. Hello, Yvonne. And I said I was going to do like a funny song. I didn't, but I kind of did. I didn't really know what to do for the lyrics, so I just started singing random things, and I came up with the atrocity that is the song called Strange Light. And I think it's beneficial to know before going into the song, it's a song about a guy who wakes up one day to discover he has magical powers.
Of today, everyone is glowing in extraordinary ways. Strange light shines off their face. Did I take something and now I'm off my case? Their thoughts keep flying around like paper planes. Things were normal yesterday. Should I try to sit and get some space? I start hovering in place. I've gone insane. Walked past a cat and it gave me a lovely day. I climbed a tree to hide. A nesting bird told me when the cat was out of sight. My thoughts keep flying around like paper planes. Can't you see them sway? Should I try to run and get some space? I fly to the other side of the rain. Is it just me, or is the night like swaying? Am I alive or dead? Should hurt to not the pain. Strange like comes out my hands. I made blood from dust and mistake teeth from leaves and sand. I can see your thoughts like paper planes. You think I've lost my mind. You know I truly wish that was the case. Strange light is sweet to taste. Is it just me, or is the light now fading? Nobody seems to care. Is it just me, or has the light stopped playing? Maybe I'll go to bed.
I like those hits. Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of my more confident mixes as well, because it wasn't a last minute rush like some of my other ones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a nice mix, really well produced. And the ukulele, we were saying, because it's got steel strings, it pretty much just sounds like guitar.
Which is how I got away with it, yeah.
And it's high pitched, so it sounds like funk guitar, like instantly.
I was initially thinking I was going to do a solo on that or my baritone ukulele.
Oh, yeah.
But in my mind, that solo was suited for a saxophone, just to do like a tenor, a really soft solo. But I can't play saxophone, and my keyboard settings are terrible. So I just ended up playing it on a normal guitar in the style of a soft saxophone. Not remembering that Sam is a saxophone player and has a saxophone. And he could improvise a better solo in 5 minutes.
I haven't played saxophone since I recorded it on the last saxophone song there.
And I remember that being fantastic.
Oh.
Very silly lyrics, so it's very, very me.
Yeah, it was cool though. If you've got a funky beat, it doesn't matter what the lyrics are.
That's my big question though. Is it funk or is it less funk?
It's got definitely funk elements, but it's a bit more spacey, I guess.
Yeah, a dry
funk.
funk song, yeah.
But
I played a funky bass line, but I didn't slap or pop, mainly because I can't.
Well, funk doesn't necessarily have slap bass. Like if you listen to
True,
James
Rolf
Brown,
Beck, yeah.
like
Jackson 5,
Bootsy
yeah.
Collins and bass players like that don't really slap. They just play beat one of every bar and then play a fill.
Yeah, James Brown was so big on beat 1E.
Yeah.
There's this video of Bootsy Collins just talking about the Bootsy Collins formula where
Yeah.
it's like, all you do is play beat one. Dun. Dun.
Yeah.
And then you just fill in the rest. Dun. Beep, boom, beep. It's just like, wow.
Yeah. It works so well.
Yeah, I reckon.
It's kind of become like every time I play bass on anything funky, that's what I do now.
Hello, Ryan Eddie Hale here. If you're enjoying the show and want to stay updated, please feel free to follow us on whichever platform you're listening to this on. Also, if you would like to know when the next episode goes live, or want to receive relevant updates, plus lyrics and photos from each recording, make sure to follow our social pages on Facebook, Instagram, and Reddit. Furthermore, if you search Prompt Songs Recommendations into Spotify, we've set up playlists for each episode with a list of all the music that we've mentioned or recommended for easy access. Now, back to the show.
So now we move on to our self-covers.
Our
redos, yeah. Or our reimaginations.
Mm-hmm. Because I'm, aside from this, I've been working on doing some music to release. And I'm trying to do some of my songs to a higher level of recording quality. So I've just chosen 2 of the songs that I've already written. I chose one song called Blind, which is one that Ryan prompted me to do completely a cappella. And I wanted to re-record it with instruments to see how that would go. It didn't go very well to start.
Says Sam, but he has sent us the file, which means he bounced it.
So we might listen to it later, but I would rather listen to the better one first. So this is a song that I wrote when my nan passed away. Yeah, I just wanted to give it another go. It's not hugely different to the original version. I just wanted to do a more high-quality version and sing it better and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of that. So I guess we could start with that one. And then
cool. So this is Leaf on a Stream, version 2.
These steps I take today are the same ones we made before we said goodbye. Retrace the path we took back when the world was magic, like a children's book. We colored over the lines and filled in every space with frogs and fairy dust. As I age, colors fade, but when I'm here it feels like only yesterday. We were together hand in hand, armed with bread and dreams. Time flows by like the river beneath my feet. Now you drift away like a leaf on the stream. This place still glows like my childhood eyes once saw it. Bright orange, blue, and green. I feel your hand guide me to see past what blinds us to the beauty in everyday things. High fashion made from plastic bags and fine art made from old rags. Cracking jokes into the end, leaving us with smiles and tears. I know if I ever need you, we'll be together hand in hand, armed with bread and dreams. Time flows by like the river beneath my feet. You beat us to the ocean, but you'll always be with me. Am I
wonderful.
feel like that song is saying, this isn't even my final form.
Yeah, it's not. Just listening to it. I think I definitely want to redo the electric guitar. It's a little bit shaky in a few spots.
I'd say even that final vocal harmony and that last chorus bring that harmony up as well.
Yeah, probably need to sing it again. I think the tuning's a little bit out, some bits, but
I can see what you're doing with the arrangement, and it's making a fantastic song even better somehow.
Thanks.
I really like in the early the part where it's still the original arrangement. You can hear yourself smiling when you say certain words. I think that's a really impressive thing that certain singers can do. Sometimes you can hear it because they're about to laugh because whoever's in the control room is making them laugh, but it really suits a song, especially emotional ones like this, when you can hear when a singer is smiling, when a singer is frowning, when a singer is really
is it just like the tone
emotional.
Changes or
yeah, somehow you can hear a smile. There's a fucking title for you.
Yeah, so that was that one. That's sort of still, I mean, to be honest, when is a song ever really finished?
Yeah.
I'm struggling with that, but I definitely want to redo a few of these things, but yeah, I'm definitely feeling like this is better than the original version. And then the other song that I originally was doing and got annoyed at, the reason why I wasn't happy with it, there's parts of it that I am happy with, which is why I brought it anyway, but I made the mistake of not being patient when I was recording, and it doesn't really gel,
yeah.
It doesn't have pocket, and it's a groovy song. It doesn't really work without having like a good solid beat to it. But
there's songs of mine in this show that have suffered from me adding the drums to a sloppy guide and then having to add to hard. Sloppy drums.
Because I'm used to playing to a drummer on guitar, but if I do the guitar first and then build it up and then redo the guitar, no, you have to that initial take has to be good.
Yeah.
Because you can't build on top of that as a foundation.
Like sonically, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can have a bum note, but rhythmically and feel-wise, it should be pretty consistent.
Yeah, so I learned that lesson. So I don't know if you guys want to have a listen.
I'm keen to have a listen.
Yeah, let's listen.
If you're happy to let us listen.
Sure.
And let the potential world listen.
This is real, and how can we know the line between what's true and imagined will never show? Are these thoughts my own, or an affection passed on? We plan our lives as if we know what's over the horizon. We are really going in blind. It's scary, I know. On the other side. With my eyes closed, I can see more clear to see what's blocking the way for polluting the air and toxic inputs in your life tell you you'll always fail. Cut that shit out with a knife, believe that you'll prevail. We are really going in blind. It's scary, I know. Don't know what we're going to find in the next episode. There's no use waiting. Gotta take a dive. The sea's always changing while you're alive. Gotta take a leap of faith to see what's on the other side. We are really going in blind. It's scary, I know. Don't know why.
And then at the end, have that a cappella finish. Do one more. Do you fucking mind? I was bringing a really good point. Yeah, do one more chorus at the end of that as the original a cappella version with the claps coming in.
Right. Sure.
I can see what you're getting at. That's a really cool
Yeah,
arrangement.
that's so cool.
Just needs another half in the oven.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that I'm really annoyed about is that I don't know if I can fix this or if I have to start from scratch again, because all the singing is sung to this beat.
Oh, yeah.
You can make it work if you do, what's it called? You can make the computer correct it for you.
Quantizing.
Quantizing,
yeah.
which you can do with vocals, you can do with drums, you can do with guitar. But
it takes all the life out of it.
It does take the life out of it.
Yeah.
And what we were saying before we started recording and during the playback, if you have a groove that you're trying to play a rhythm instrument to, like guitar or piano or bass even, if the click's not really inspiring you, then just chuck in a loop or a keyboard drum.
Yeah.
Because that'll keep you in time enough. But yeah, for me, when I do my songs, I always redo the guide guitar in the end. I'll start with the guitar and vocals, then I'll do my drums, and then I'll put a new guitar over the top.
Right.
Even if it's not the right tone, I have to get that feel right. And I'm guilty, absolutely, of doing things like that, where you can hear, I think Panicked at the Disco is one part, and the Freak Out, you can hear the drums just slip out of not the drums, the guitar, and everything just slip out of the keyboard drums.
Oh, right.
Because I did the guitar first, and then I added keyboard drums to it, and I'm not, a metronome.
Yeah. I was getting so annoyed because I think because I actually started recording this a few weeks ago, and I hadn't really practiced guitar in a couple of months. And
is this going on the album? This song?
Maybe.
I think you should. But then again, every single song you've written should go on the album.
I like the song. Also, Tanya and I are thinking of doing like a duo project.
Oh, you could chuck it on that one, yeah.
That.
Oh, yeah, I love.
By the way, Tanya, great vocals on this one as well.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved the back and forth between you guys, and kind of like it really suited.
No, it's a fun song. So yeah, I don't know whether I have to start from scratch, which I'd be really gutted because I've put a lot of work into it already.
If you think about it in context of everything you've ever done, it's not going to be that difficult. It's just, it is a sore point, especially as someone who's sat through the tracking of it and the mixing of it, and then you realize, oh shit, I have to start from point A again, except the writing. But yeah, walk away from it for a month or two, and then you can return back to it.
I've had to do that with a few songs, just start recording it and go, oh, this isn't working. And I think it always happens when I'm sitting down to do something and I'm thinking, okay, this is the time where it has to be good, and then it always sounds way worse. Whereas with
when you write something, that's always the best time. I was watching the Beatles Get Back documentary, and John Lennon says the same thing to George Harrison. No, when you write that idea, that's when you got to push through it, because coming back to it will just become a chore. You're in that mindset when you come up with it. Yeah. And then Paul McCartney wrote Get Back in 2 minutes on his bass out of nowhere, and it's like, what the fuck?
I've watched the first like half hour of that. And then
it's like 7 or 8 hours. If you like
so much
the Beatles, of course you have to watch it. If you are a musician and you're a songwriter or a member of a band, I'd highly recommend it. If you're not either of those things, it'll be very boring and confusing. But thanks, Peter Jackson. You did a good job. And Billy Preston, you're a fucking legend.
Cool. I did a cover of Ryan's song called Panicked at the Disco, and I just thought I'd do that. I liked how kind of spontaneous it was, and just thought, why don't I take it in a funky direction instead of a kind of disco direction.
I feel bad though, because you brought both your sessions to me to work on with the drums, and I had it in mind, one of these as a cover, and he hadn't named them with the full titles. He just had the first letters. I was like, so what's your cover? He's like, it's your song.
All right. It's
which one?
It's quite different.
It is, yeah.
Let's have a listen. Yeah.
Cool.
It's the bass playing is a bit inconsistent because I don't normally play with a pick, but I was really inspired by the OJ's "Money, Money, Money."
Right.
It's called "For the Love of Money." I think that song's called.
Something that.
Yeah. And I was just like, funk playing on the bass is so cool, especially when you use a pick. So I was just trying to do that.
Right.
But
I liked it. It was funky.
I like how you did the scream.
Yeah, the cry. That was really good. Your pitch was really consistent. I always struggle with that.
Yeah, I reckon you managed to hold the note longer than me.
Oh, okay. I was a bit worried because I had recorded it 2 days ago.
Really?
I had blocked ears, and I was like, when you have blocked ears, you can't fully tell how bright the pitch is or like whether it's perfectly in tune. And so it's like, I just kind of like, it turned out all right, I think. So I was pretty happy with that.
So what was the prompt for the original song?
Wasn't it without lyrics? Like sing without in a made up language or something like that?
Yeah, sing in a made up language.
What you
Mine was the disco. Maybe it was disco.
Yeah,
and wordless singing.
Yeah,
I think
wordless
was it.
singing.
Okay. Oh, I like what he did with it. It's like different, but
it's one of my favorite ways. You either cover a song the way people expect it, so you do like Muse covering Back in Black, or you do like who covered with a little help from Joe Cocker with a little help from my friends, where you totally rearrange it and make your own thing out of it. And that's what you've done. You've with a little help from my friends did.
Yeah, and thanks for your help with it and playing the drums.
So when we first did the covering idea, Adam revisited his song called Wildflower, which is a song of his that I really enjoyed when he first introduced it. And when he brought it in to work on it, I was like, fuck, I was going to do that. So I quickly changed mine to Sam's Simulation Theory. I fucking remembered it. And then when we were doing this round, I was initially going to do my pilot song, the shoegaze one. But seeing as I'd just done the dream pop this past episode, I thought it's a bit too similar. So I decided to revisit Wildflower and give it the additions. So the initial prompt was Nirvana. What I've done is I've given it the full 4-piece Nirvana when Pat Smear was in it. Arrangement, full band, additional lyrics, pre-choruses and all that.
Cool.
I'm very, very happy with this mix.
Oh, cool.
Before we play it.
Cool.
Wow. I like your new sections, man.
I remember getting the She Loves Me Not when I heard your initial one.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, that could be another section. And I remember I told you about it way back. It's probably a year ago. And then I never got around to it until this past fortnight.
Man.
Get some good Nirvana-isms there too.
Yeah, I was wondering whether I should sing like him, because I think I can get his tone, but I think probably the weakest aspect of that mix is my singing at the time, just because it had been a while since I'd sung. But I'm very happy with the, well, I think not, going back to the minor.
That was so cool.
Because the brilliant thing about this riff, Adam tried to explain it to me a few months ago. It goes major...
It's got like a sharp 4.
Sharp 4, then minor.
Well, then it's sus.
Yeah, it's 3 competing tunings in one bar.
Yeah.
And so I love songs that start in a minor and end in a major in the next phrase, like Eleanor by the Turtles.
Oh, yeah.
It starts in a minor and the chorus starts in a major, and it's such a huge change. And yeah, I just liked Adam's, and I thought that there should be more of it.
It was one of those things where when I wrote it, I did it like in a short amount of time because I was like, oh, time pressure.
It was like a minute long, yeah.
But yeah, I had been like playing a lot of guitar because I was teaching, and I came up with that little thing, and then...
So what I did for the She Loves Me Not when it's falling, that's the same chords for I Just Want to Grow Like a Wildflower in reverse.
Oh, yeah.
And then I took your I Just Want to Grow Like a Wildflower line and repeated it 4 times, but I changed grow to glow in the second and fourth lines because that also works.
Cool.
And yeah, just added more references to other flowers because I'm a bit of a keen botanist.
Yeah.
And when we were listening back, I was pointing out all the things that were referenced in the second verse. I've actually got cacti growing. One of them is on its way out, sadly, but they are cacti that are Queen of the Night cacti. And the cool thing about those is they'll look horrible like that for 364 days. And then it'll have the biggest flower you'll ever see with the most incredible scent, but it'll only happen while you're asleep.
And that's why it's the Queen of the Night.
It's fragrant, yeah. Otherwise, she's a prickly bitch. Yeah,
it's really flattering to have someone like cover your song, especially like do so much with it. It's really cool.
Well, I think we've all covered each other's. Sam hasn't covered it.
I've only done my own.
Yeah,
because of the egotistical.
Tell you what's weird is having someone write a song with you in it. Because when we give
is that weird?
It is, in a way that's not negative. It's just unusual because Adam wrote a song called Last Day about his last day of last year, which I happened to be there for at some stage. Yeah. So, of course, I'm in the song. And I didn't realise for like months afterwards. And I flicked him a message. I was like, is that about me? He's like, yeah, of course. You were there. Oh, yeah. I have some interesting statistics for you guys.
Ooh.
Yeah, I worked these out with the help
He's
of VLC
the stats
player.
Man.
I love a good statistic.
I'm the stats man.
I don't know why that came into my head.
So thanks for VLC player for helping me work this out because maths is hard. Adam, in this run, including the pilot and not including our group song of Jellyfishin, you have contributed 23 songs.
Wow.
Including 2 covers, self-covers, that come in at a total of 1 hour, 6 minutes, and 40 seconds.
Wow.
It's an like album's worth of material.
It's one podcast episode's worth of
audio. That's very easy. Yeah.
The shortest was your very first one, Something Funky.
Oh, really? That was the shortest. Oh, okay.
It came in at 1 minute 16.
1 minute 16.
Wildflower was a close second, I think. Okay. And the longest was the ICU, which was the very first episode.
Wait.
After the pilot.
Oh, I see. Okay.
At 4 minutes 52. I really wanted it to be Waiting for the Tears, because then I could say, and 3 minutes of that was you just saying Waiting for the Tears.
Yeah, I guess ICU has that big outro solo, I guess.
That's a good song, ICU.
Oh, thank you.
Sam, 21 songs.
Oh, yeah.
Including 2 covers, because you threw 2 in today. 59 minutes, 26.
I beat you. Just jokes.
Just wait.
That's what it's all about, the length of how much you write.
Okay, just wait, bucko.
Oh, okay.
59 minutes, 26. The shortest was Letter to a Friend from the last episode, 1 minute 37. And do you know what your longest is?
It's probably only like 3 minutes.
No, it was Glaciers. Which is 4 minutes 38.
That's because it's instrumental, and there's
Just
no
because
limit.
It's instrumental doesn't mean it has to be long, but that one is.
No, I'm saying it's easy to make it long.
Oh, true.
Because I don't have to write lyrics.
And Ryan, yeah, that's me. 23 songs, including 2 covers. 1 hour, so it's 1 hour 6 to beat. 1 hour 24.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
But you've got those long
25.
cinematic universe songs.
Yeah. However, I do also have the shortest song.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
So, Pawn, the chess
Because it was
TV
the
opening,
TV opening, yeah.
39 seconds, and the longest, what do you reckon it would be?
The Lobster
Lobster
King.
King.
Correct, Lobster King, 6 minutes 52. However, that 1 hour 24, 25 minutes does not include my backing music. That is going over my voiceovers, which is 11 tracks at 18 minutes and 6 seconds. So in total, 1 hour 42:31.
Oh, wow.
And not including the stings, which I'm not going to add because stings don't count. So yeah, interesting stats. I have double album worth of songs, but only an album worth of good ones.
Oh, I mean, the whole idea of this podcast is
to get us writing more.
Yeah, as the more you write, the more better songs you come up with, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Although it's hard to top the ones that I came up with in the first and third episode.
It's been cool going back to the original ones and seeing how everyone's like production has gotten better.
Oh, definitely mine.
Well, yeah. After we did the pilot, Adam and I were like, okay, basic demos. Then you came in with like Bossa, which had like pretty much standard band arrangements, and we were like, oh, we got to up our fucking game. And then I did the Lobster King in response.
Think that was just guitar and my drum.
You had more than one instrument.
Oh, yeah.
So I did the Lobster King. It's kind
was
of
that
been
episode 2?
Episode 1, I did Lobster King.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure on the first episode, I was like, do Ween, because you're always talking about it.
Same episode as Simulation Theory.
Episode
1 is not the pilot. Yeah.
I always think of the pilot as episode 1.
But also, like, I've got one of the best songs, but then I've also got Showbiz, which is kind of average, which is just guitar and singing.
Oh, it's
you can see which one I put more effort into.
Well, for me, I definitely found that I did that a lot. I'd get one and I'd be more passionate about that song and I'd be putting more into it, and then my other one would be either like not necessarily bad but just way more simple in terms of arrangement and like.
But you'd also have ones where they're both really good, because wasn't Grey Matter on the same episode as Last Day?
Yeah.
Both very, very good songs.
Thanks.
So now that we're reflecting, I set everyone the task of choosing the top 5 songs of everyone, including yourselves, for your own reasons. Doesn't have to be the best produced, doesn't have to be what you think everyone would like. It's just your 5 favourite songs from each person. Let's go in the order of the episode. So, Sam. What were your 5 favourite songs of your own?
Of my own?
Yes.
So the first one I wrote was actually the one that I submitted today, Rain at Night. And
I also changed one of mine to that. That was really cool.
Thanks. So. Mainly, it's not like, the lyrics don't really mean much. It's just about driving a car at night. But
Night Cruising by Fishmans is a great song.
Yeah, but I just think in terms of production, it's the like cleanest sounding song I've done so far. But it's also probably because it's just really simple and repetitive.
And it showcases your guitar playing and your singing very well.
Oh, thank you. Second one is Toxicity.
Oh, yeah.
Mainly because it's another one that's just really simple. It's just guitar and singing.
Yep.
But I think sometimes I try and overcomplicate things, and I think that one is just a really straight ahead song because the prompt was Ed Sheeran, and
who used to do quite simple arrangements.
Yeah. And so I just stripped it right back and thought, oh, that actually worked quite well.
And some of my favourite Sam songs outside the podcast are the more simple ones, like Now That I Know You.
Yeah. Actually, to be honest, my first 3, these aren't in a particular order, by the way, but my first 3 are all stripped back acoustic ones, because the third one's Leaf on a Stream, which I re-recorded for today. Yep. But that's more for personal reasons, just the lyrics and why I wrote it. Fourth one is Read Between the Lines.
That's a great one.
I put that on
the Cars was the prompt.
That's catchy as hell. That was the song from that episode I put on repeat after I'd finished mixing it.
Yeah.
Such an earworm.
I think it's just another one that I feel like the production worked out quite well. Yeah, I don't know, it just sort of came together really, really well. And Letter to a Friend was the last one, just because it's not necessarily the best song, and as Ryan said, it's not even very long. I don't know, I just feel like it surpassed my expectations of what I could do in the realm of hip-hop.
Yeah, there was a lot on your shoulders because you were the first one to really do a hip-hop song.
Yeah, and I didn't know how it was going to come out, and it sounded not half bad, so I was kind of happy with it for that reason. Yeah.
So Adam, what were your top 5 Sam songs?
So 2 we had were the same. Glaciers I wrote. down because I don't know, just
it's really
for
unique.
something so different from everything else, but also like it's not super cryptic and ununderstandable.
Yeah, it was
it's still
largely improvised, wasn't it? You wrote a bass riff and then the rest was kind of improvised on top.
Yeah, I think every part was improvised.
Yeah, I think your kind of use of a kind of hook in there really makes it like relatable, or like it's not too, what am I trying to say? It's not so avant-garde that it's like, what the hell is this? Right. Even though it's free jazz, it's still like...
It was accessible, yeah. That's why I liked it. I was prepared to hate it because it's free jazz, and if you listen to the wrong stuff, it's off-putting.
Well, the problem was free jazz. I don't know how much I stuck to that, because it does have a key center.
Right.
And it does have timing, like it goes into a groove and then changes into another groove. But
I think free jazz can be quite groovy though.
Be anything, I guess.
But it's free, man.
Yeah, do what you want.
But yeah, I just
name.
Oh, cool.
That song's just so cool, so I put it down. Another one I wrote was Simulation Theory.
Oh yeah.
How did he not put that in his top 5? I mean, there's a lot to choose from.
Yeah, there's heaps to choose from. So, but just because it was like, I think that was like the first
big song,
proper episode, and that song, after hearing it, was just like, wow, that's so cool. I love it. Love the like harmony. I love the chords and the melody going together. And I wrote Blind as well.
Oh yeah.
You know, because of 10 years singing. That's all. Yeah. Jokes. Also because it was an amazing song.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Turns out Adam and I have a very similar taste in Sam's music. I will just say, before I say any of mine, I sent a message to these guys last night saying that this is more difficult than it should be. I had a top 8 of everyone, and it was like killing children, knocking some off. So some of the ones that Sam and Adam have mentioned that I haven't put, I do love as well. Read Between the Lines comes to mind.
You didn't put it out on your list?
No, because fuck, you could say half of Sam's and you'd still be missing half. I put them in order, even though there shouldn't be an order. This is just personal preference. So my number 5 was Glaciers.
Yeah.
I was just so surprised by it. It was just so wonderful and moody. Number 4, Windmill in a Storm. I don't think it's been said by anyone. No. I really liked that just because that also had such a mood to it, and it really fit both the physical prompt of not being able to play the 2 middle strings, but also Windmill in a Storm is such a strong image, and you kind of captured that. And it was just your guitar and voice, which is really impressive. Thanks. Number 3, I put Blind.
All right.
I love a cappella, and you totally nailed that. You and Tanya totally nailed that. Number 2. This is my number 2. Simulation Theory.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was going to be my number 1, but Simulation Theory, I mean, I don't need to say anything, just listen to it. It's fucking fantastic. Number 1 is Toxicity.
Oh yeah.
All right.
I think that's probably my favourite song that you've written for the podcast, with a lot of asterisks. But it's a perfect song. I could see Ed Sheeran performing that exact song.
Cool.
And such wonderful lyrics. And yeah.
Can I just say also, before I came here, my list was different, obviously, because I hadn't heard your Rain at Night song.
Yeah.
The 5th song I had was actually Stage Fright, which is your cream one.
That was one of the ones I had to cast off, because, you got that cream tone so good. It was so psychedelic.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, that was fun, because I have an SG, which is the guitar that he used.
All right. Adam, what is your top 5 of yourself?
Myself, number 5, Burger King foot lettuce. These aren't in any order, but my Kinks song, He'll Be Alright.
Oh, good song.
That was great, actually. It should be on my list.
You can change it. Because it'll go to me and then you.
You could just not copy answers. No.
Yeah. I guess I'll keep my answers. So
well, I just want more of my songs mentioned.
Show you're working.
Yeah, I thought that was cool. Yeah, I kind of wrote that one in a different way to how I write other songs, and I think the kind of harmony and melody is a lot better because of it.
It was the song that you wrote as a fan of the original band you're trying to emulate as well, and that really shows. Yeah,
I kind of did a thing that's really good to do when you're writing in the style of a band, is get really into them in a kind of short period of time. Because I listened to them heaps for a week, and then I wrote the outline of the song, and then didn't really listen to them again.
Which is a mistake. Everyone should listen to the Kinks.
Yeah, they're cool. The second song I wrote down was Halloween.
Oh, yeah.
I just like the vocal performance and...
catchy hook. All it takes is one night to sleep over night for temptation.
Yeah, actually, that just came out. That melody just came out because I was singing something different. I was just like, it's not the right melody, you know. So I was just like tried other things, and then that just came out. It was really weird. Spooky, yeah. Maybe it was
a ghost.
It was a ghost inspiring me to.
It's the ghost of Scott Pilgrim.
Third song I wrote was Flashing Lights. Just
really out there and unique.
Yeah,
that
something
was really
different.
cool. I think that's on my list too.
Oh yeah. My Cars song, 5 Nights a Week.
Fuck yeah.
It's probably my favourite one, I think.
I don't think I had it on my list because it didn't make the cut, but that was one that I didn't want to kill. No, it's not.
Oh yeah. And the last one I wrote was Grey Matter.
Another one I had to cut.
Oh yeah.
And I love Grey Matter.
That's on my list too, actually.
I think Grey Matter was my number 5. I was kind of like tossing up between a bunch of different songs to put. But
I challenge anyone who's a fan of Talking Heads to not say that is a Talking Heads song.
Yeah. I think your vocal performance on that song's like really great. Like I think it really suits your voice a lot.
Absolutely, yeah, because Adam sings in a certain way, and it's closer to David Byrne than it is to a traditional singer, I think. David Byrne, I don't know if he does it naturally or if he intentionally sings like that, but Adam's voice suits that style really well.
Oh, cool.
I think it also helped that you and I had watched that concert of his that had just been released, American Utopia. We watched it maybe like a month before.
Oh, yeah.
And so we were really Talking Heads and David Byrne in the zone.
I guess all my best songs come when I'm inspired, which makes sense.
David Byrne's endlessly inspiring.
Yeah, I got really into Stop Making Sense.
Greatest concert ever. Cool. I've done top 5. My number 5 is Don't Badger Lockie.
Oh yeah.
That's
because that sounds like a sea shanty, and it's everything a sea shanty should be.
That was great. Yeah, actually, the multiple voices, how they were kind of not. What's the word? Tetraphonic? Is it the texture where things are playing the same melody but not exactly?
Oh, okay, right.
And it
kind of like crowd noise, yeah.
Yeah, you really captured that really well.
Yeah, that was really impressive because whenever I try and do group gang vocals, it just sounds like me.
Oh,
and you managed to make yourself sound like a whole bunch of sailors.
Yeah, I think I did that. Wait, who's the guy who produced Michael Jackson?
Quincy Jones.
Yeah, he pioneered that thing where people like stand different distances from the mic. Yeah, I kind of did that to help get, different distances and stuff.
Mm-hmm. My number 4 was Flashing Lights. Of course, it kind of reminds me of a group that I'll mention later when we're doing proper recommendations. But it's very Japanese and YMO-like and Record Ride-like.
Yeah, I think it was really inspired by Record Ride.
My number 3 is Planet B.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a really simple song, but I think out of all the songs, that's the one that I hum. I hum it in my head all the time. And I can absolutely see that being a My Chemical Romance song.
I think for me, I didn't put it on because I thought it was a bit too derivative of a My Chemical Romance song in terms of the guitar is really similar to that song.
I'm Not Okay.
I'm Not Okay, that song.
Oh, yeah.
I think the guitar is a bit too derivative of the guitar from I'm Not Okay.
Something magical happened with Planet B, though, which is you and I accidentally played half a beat out.
I think the drum and bass in the first chorus come out of the chorus one beat late.
Yeah.
So, but because the guitars are so washed out,
the song gets out of line but still works, which is an insane mistake. My number 2 is Halloween. Because I love Scott Pilgrim, and that's a very Scott Pilgrim-esque song. And it's Adam going full cray-cray. And my number 1 is He'll Be Alright. Song. That song I had on repeat for the next week after we did that episode. It's so good.
Yeah, you really nailed that sound. That
got the Davies sound, and that mix was so. I was only on the drums and tambourine and guitar for that, but even recording it, I was like, "This is going to be a good song."
Oh, cool!
I should have put that on my list. It was kind of hard going through and sort of attributing the titles to
the sound of the song.
But I think you guys have said 3 of my songs. Have been said already. Flashing Lights, Grey Matter, and Planet B.
Oh, yeah.
Are all on my list. I loved all those ones. And I put the Perkins Call.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to put on.
That was such a fun song.
I think... I think it just suffers a bit because it's before I kind of had the recording thing down.
Oh,
so it's suffered, and it's a little bit slow, I think.
Oh yeah.
If it had been faster, and maybe if I had done the drums with Ryan and like
that riff you had, it was a very good Halloween thing.
I think there's just a jarring nature to that song that really matches the theme.
Yeah,
And it sort of makes it
kind of
work. Yeah.
Makes it tense.
And the last one I had, which something funky.
Oh, really?
See, I was debating putting that on.
Because it's not
set the tone for the whole show.
Yeah, it's not your like most technically good. I mean, it's the first one you did.
Yeah.
But it's just so funny,
Oh, okay.
and I love it
And
so
it's
much.
unique. It's quite a unique arrangement.
Oh yeah, it's all just one mic and me dubbing my
Yeah,
voice.
yeah.
And like,
I imagine that if we were to ever play a show with these songs, Something Funky would be a brilliant opener.
oh yeah.
We'd have had a full band to do hits, and would expand on the song maybe, but give me some.
Yeah.
I think that was like before I realized how hard we were gonna go with all these songs.
yeah.
So I kind of just like,
I think it went you, me, Sam.
oh yeah.
That's when we're like, oh, right, we're against Sam. Fuck.
But no, I thought it was really cool to listen to. So I've included it
cool.
on my list.
Oh,
But
nice. Thank you
liking
guys.
it.
It's really
and I
flattering
put-
to hear.
I put Last Day as an extra bonus on one on here too.
Oh, yeah.
because that was a nice song.
Really demonstrates your bass skill.
Yeah.
Playing like Flea.
Yeah, I think it's really flattering to hear people compliment your songs. It's really nice. Thanks, guys.
That's the only reason I'm doing this show. I think it's really cool to hear the different opinions as well.
Oh yeah.
For my top 5 of my own, I have a caveat, and I'm wondering if I should change it right now. Number 5, no, I'll go with what I said. Number 5, I've got I Don't Care About You, I Do, which is my like Beat Crusaders kind of one.
It's on my list.
That was probably my
I
one of
think
my
that's on mine too, actually.
one of my more solid songs. Really fun, but I didn't have much to say about it. Whereas I was debating whether or not to put Jeff in the number 5 slot, which was my Beach Boys song.
Oh, that was cool. Yeah.
Because I'm quite happy with it. It ended up sounding like the Beach Boys. My vocals aren't as strong, but I think I got the Beach Boys tone.
Production of it was really good.
Yeah. My number 4 is my version of Wildflower.
Oh yeah.
Because really happy with that. It was one of those weird ones where I didn't have anything mixed and it was already sounding finished.
All
I was
right.
like, should I even change it? But I added a bit more dynamics to it. Number 3 is the Sea Salt Suite.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I think that's on my list too. Actually,
Um,
that was good.
I love stories.
All the
So
different voices, the pirate voices, and
it's me just going in. Like, it's the opposite of all my other songs. I usually go out of paddock with all the production and stuff. Whereas this time it was like guitar and maybe a few strings. And the rest is just going to be my voice in the performance. I did lose my voice from it, which was hilarious. Number 2, Lobster King.
oh yeah,
It's on my list.
all time, same, all time, great.
I wanted to do something special for this episode. Dean Ween, the guitarist, is on, what's it called? Cameo. But he hasn't updated in 4 months, so I couldn't do it. What I wanted to do was get him to record a solo for it, if he was keen to. And then I would play the song, and you guys would be like, wow, that solo's out of this film. I was like, yeah, because it's fucking Dean Ween. But maybe one day. And The Waiting Room is my top song.
It's on my list as well.
I'm
It's on my list too.
stupid proud of that song so much so that I've added it to the sessions for my first proper solo album. And I'm going to do I don't know, not even bigger. I'm just going to redo everything with better takes, even though I'm really happy with the original. But the original's a little bit too sloppy.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm a big fan of Pink Floyd, and I think I did David Gilmour a good tip of the hat.
Cool.
Yeah,
And Rick
That's
Wright,
good.
and Roger Waters, and Nick Mason. That was the funnest song to record, I have to say. Playing the bass on that, I was like, this is what Roger would do.
Oh yeah.
it's always fun when you do get a band prompt for the style rather than like this week doing Simon and Garfunkel was really fun. Just kind of thinking, what would they do? And I think the main thing that I did that I remember doing that made it sound Simon and Garfunkel was just they have these random pauses. They'll just like hold a chord for just longer than you'd expect it to, and then as soon as I did that, I was like, oh, now it's a Simon and Garfunkel song.
A very thoughtful performance.
Yeah, the subtleties in it is that's been really fun for the podcast. Yeah, just trying to replicate things and trying to get inside other people's heads.
Yeah.
Which is
what makes them unique.
Which is a process that I think I need to do more with my own writing, just because I've been finding with recording my own songs if I don't have a reference, it's really hard to just make something.
Yeah, we're all inspired consciously and unconsciously by something.
So
I'll take my praise now, please.
My songs, actually, you've said 4 out of my 5.
I think with mine, we're going to have more similar ones because my ones are more obvious, whereas you guys have a bit more variation to choose from.
Well, there's a lot of songs that you've done that could go on here, but you've got you've got a lot of variety in the way you've approached the songs.
Yeah, arrangement.
But yeah, so I put Waiting Room, Lobster King, Sea Salt Sweet, and I Don't Care About You, I Do. And my other one that I put on was Jumpin', which is your ska song.
Oh, yeah.
That was really cool. And I think you really captured the production and the songwriting was just really apt to the style. But you started off in more like a reggae thing.
Yeah, because I wanted that energy jump. Because I think if I put that song on for a lot of people, they'd turn it off after the first minute, being like, okay, I get it. Whereas if you stick around until about the 2-minute mark and then I drop the drumstick and then pick it up, then that's kind of what ska is about for me, is that energy. Mm-hmm. And I have to have something to contrast it with rather than just jump into it, should I say.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed that.
So the 2 that haven't been mentioned that were on my list, Queen of Hearts.
Oh yeah, the song. Yeah.
I really love the energy and especially the harmony on the Queen of Hearts. Heart's so cool. Yeah, and
being asked to drum like Keith Moon, I'm dreading if we do a second season. You guys do a Rush song. Fuck me.
And the other one I wrote was Perfume Pursuit.
Oh yeah.
I just love the.
That's the one that people come back to me the most about. I think
really?
After Lobster King. Right. Oh, that Michael Jackson one's hilarious.
Yeah, it's like you said it was like one of the first times you wrote a funky song.
Yeah, I generally write quite low tempo stuff for my own solo work. So when I got given Michael Jackson, I was like, that's not going to work unless I do like a Human Nature style song, and I don't want to because that's already been done 1,000 times. So I think a lot of kudos goes to you though. A lot of the bass makes that song.
Yeah, I think I also love it because it was so much fun playing on it and I'm hearing that back, hearing what I did.
Good bass line. So this is the end of this run, at least of prompt songs. Where life takes us depends on how and if we continue. That's not a sentence.
If we continue, depends on where life takes us.
Yeah, let's go with that one.
You said it the wrong way around. Where life takes us depends on if we continue.
This started as just a passion project and it stayed as a passion project. Which is fine because it's still fun. I would like to personally thank people who are listening to this right now because that means you've listened to the end of the show. And I'd also like to thank our friends who have been a part of it. Richard Surrey and Dylan Zekin. Yeah. You guys went above and beyond with your contributions. I remember a friend told me you should get these guys back on because they are better than you. No, they're so good.
They really lifted the bar. I was like, oh, shoot, we have to.
Yeah, if we were to continue on and any one of us was sick, I'd be more than happy with them filling in the vacant seat. And I'd like to thank David, Tash, Yvonne, and Lisa because you seem to be our constant listeners who at least make yourself known. So thank you for your feedback and your patronage. Where we go from here, all the songs that you hear, so long as the artist who created them, including Richard and Dylan, all the songs are going to be available online at some point. Just keep an eye or an ear out on the socials. They'll be available to stream. And thank you to you two.
Thanks to you.
For taking your time out. I know it's been a bit of a chore at times, but isn't music? It's wonderful and can be grating at times.
It's been great because one thing I always struggle with is music is always kind of like creative music is always like a long-term goal.
Yeah.
Like you always kind of go, oh, I'm working towards this thing, but like the fact that we have like actual deadlines, I guess, to meet. And, and a prompt to get you started.
Yeah.
It's sort of
rather than reaching for nothing.
If we didn't have prompt songs, I probably wouldn't have written those 52 minutes or whatever worth of music this year. I maybe only got 10 minutes.
And it's been really great being the one that edits the show. And one of the main bits of feedback I get, I remember Richard telling me, it sounds proper.
Yeah,
it sounds professional.
It does. You've done a great job.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of money. It's good to use the skill that I actually studied for in a creative way. without being stuck behind a mixing desk waiting for like the 70th take of someone who doesn't know how to drum to a click track. Unless it's me. Yeah, in terms of where this podcast goes in the future, who knows? It'll be fun to continue, but of course some things might happen to prevent it, just in terms of work schedules and where we go. But I think we're all keen to, and if we have the opportunity to, we will. And who knows, it might even get popular.
Who knows?
Fingers crossed.
Yes, maybe one episode will blow up, and then the whole back catalogue will.
I make a really tasteless joke that gets like hated on Twitter, and a lot of people listen to it, and we make revenue from it through our cancellation. Is there anything else you guys want to add?
Oh, it's been fun. Thanks, guys.
Been
really
good
fun. Yeah, it's kickstarted my motivation. These past 2 weeks have been more active creatively than I have been in a long time. Like, so much so that my first album is looking like it will actually get done.
Awesome.
I also think it's a good excuse just to hang out. Like
that was the other reason why we did it. Yeah.
We always like used the podcast as an excuse to as a reason to be like, we have to get together. No, we have to.
We have to be in the same room.
The listeners demand it.
And then when COVID came in the way, that's kind of what tripped us up in the last few months, but we don't have any control of that. And Sam's studying, he has to take that priority, so of course we respect that and managed to get there in the end.
Thanks for being patient with me.
No, it's been really funny that
here.
like the way it looked like it was going stayed true throughout the whole thing, which is that Adam would usually get his prompts done pretty much the week after he got set them. I'd be the week leading up, and then Sam was still working on his this morning.
Yeah, well, that was because I decided to change song last minute, but
very brave. I've got a recommendation if you guys want to think of yours. Adam and I always recommend Japanese stuff, and that's because Japan's got a fantastic music industry if you look past J-pop and idol groups. And I'm surprised that neither of us have actually brought up this group before, because it's such a unique group. They're called Recoride, Recoride, and they're actually hard to look up because they're not on a major label, and it's quite hard to access their albums in the West.
I think they are on Spotify now.
Their later stuff is.
Their later stuff,
the last album and the last few singles aren't. But I think what their technical genre is 8-bit hardcore pop rock, which sums them up. It's really intense, funky 8-bit laden pop rock with a female singer. If you look up Baseball Murder on YouTube, that's their first music video, and that's pretty much them in a nutshell. They've got 4 albums out now, I think. Each one is fantastic, and they managed to develop on their sound. And one day I'm going to fucking see them live, because I see videos of them on YouTube, and there's like 3 people in the audience, and I really want to go to Osaka one day to one of their gigs just to hear them live, and then I can shake their hands and go, I came here from New Zealand just to see you guys, because you guys are that fucking cool.
That's cool.
Adam and I used to listen to them 10 years ago, back when they were like only had one album out, and I don't know what it's called. I'm not even going to attempt to say it, but the pink and black album cover with Baseball Murder and Neko on it.
Oh yeah,
we had that on heavy rotation on our iPod classics.
Yeah, I've pretty much just been listening to Silk Sonic for the last month straight, because I don't know if you guys have heard the album that they put out, but it is crazy good.
I have seen so many people recommend that online.
Yeah, well, I'm sure everyone's heard their singles. I've been into Anderson .Paak's music for a long time, and it's really cool to see him become more popular because he's such a talented guy. Yeah, and obviously Bruno Mars is like Bruno Mars. But they captured that. I mean, Bruno Mars always does this thing of like, he does a style
to the nth degree.
And yeah, but the way they captured it and the level of detail and just the perfection of that production is just unbelievable.
Has a gloss to it.
So good. Just the musicianship and the fact that it's all live, it's all real people, and you watch them do their live shows and it sounds just as good.
Is it a full album or just a mini album?
It's quite short. It's like 8 tracks, including an intro track.
Oh, okay.
So 7 full.
So kind of like
songs.
Orange by Fishmans, which is another great
it's
album.
only like 35 minutes or something like that, but
so kind of like
35 minutes of just like a straight injection of funk.
Sort of like Orange by Fishmans.
I think they just wanted to be like no fillers.
Yeah.
Every song is like
a banger.
So good.
Cool. I don't want to recommend justice for the third podcast in a row.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
So I was just going to say you should listen to the Prompt Songs playlist, which is just all the songs that we've, mentioned.
Oh, yeah, not me. I doubt anyone even goes on there. So on Spotify, if you search Prompt Songs Recommendations, every episode, if we mention an artist, I'll put in a song that kind of suits the context. If we mention a song directly, I'll put that song on. And if you just want something new to listen to with a few nuggets of things you'll recognize in, just hit up one of those playlists and hit shuffle. There will be a playlist for this episode, which will feature many of the songs. Record Ride might not be on there as much as they should, but that's due to availability. Yeah, it's very good for discovering new artists.
Yeah.
Where should people go if they want to hear some music that we've made from outside Prompt Songs? Sam?
The only publicly available music I have out is Boom Boom Deluxe, which is, we've got a full-length album and an EP on all the streaming platforms, and you can buy them, hard copies of them as well, in vinyl and CD form. I think there's still a pipe dream that we'll get to Japan eventually, but
that would be so cool.
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to Australia next year.
Oh, cool.
And who is your special guest performer on your second album?
Glenn Matlock from the Sex Pistols.
From the fucking Sex Pistols is on an album that Sam plays guitar on. If you enjoyed Jellyfishin, that kind of style, but even better is the Boom Boom Deluxe group. And if you want something hilarious to laugh at, watch their music videos and watch Sam.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they told me to overact, and I think I overacted. Like,
they should have just said
I
be
stick
yourself.
out like a sore thumb. Yeah.
But you can enjoy the music as well. Adam.
If you go on Spotify and you look up Bros and Arrows.
Bros like brothers.
Yeah,
arrows
bros
like
bows and arrows.
Yeah.
But not bows and arrows, bros.
Bro.
I believe it's called Diamonds.
Yes.
That's one album, and there's if you also look up Dave Aerosmith's Rock and Roll Circus, there's a couple of songs that I sing on Rock and Roll Circus 1 and 2 that are out. That's all I can think of where to find me. And mosaic93.bandcamp.com.
That's a duo that Adam and I have done and continue to do. For me, there's not so much other than mosaic93.bandcamp.com. I do this show called Prompt Song, but if you keep an eye out, that Mosaic 93 album will be back up on Spotify as soon as all the Prompt Songs go up on Spotify, because that'll be the same account. I will be releasing music very soon under the monkeer of Mischief Eddie, Eddie, and the Kevin Hexagon Quartet, because puns.
You know his billboard's still up?
Of course, because he's a fucking legend.
He's a rock star. Holy.
Real estate rock star.
Yeah.
Should we do it? Okay.
He's got
Should I tell the story?
billboards of his face.
When the three of us and another friend of ours lived in Blockhouse Bay in Auckland, we used to drive past a massive billboard for, was it Barfoot in Thompson?
Yeah.
For their most successful real estate agent, Kevin He, who was a legend back then. This is 6 years ago, and apparently he still is.
Yeah, his picture on there's got even more high res.
He's gone for a second photo shoot, has he?
Oh, yeah.
And the flat got sent one of those pads for shopping lists, which has his picture and contact details in the corner. And one morning I discovered on the fridge that they'd been doodling on Kevin's face and adding letters to his last name, so Kevin Headshot, and Sam had put a target over his face. Kevin Hedge, we just drew a hedge over it. Kevin Hematoma. And so he became a running gag, and one of the ones I drew was just a hexagon around his face, and I thought Kevin Hexagon sounded like a funny stage name. And I love bands where it's like a trio where there's only two of them, so I decided to call it the Kevin Hexagon Quartet, and then I'm the only one in the actual band. So yeah, keep an eye out for Mr. Petty, Kevin Hexagon Quartet, and Mosaic 93 are going to do some stuff too as well. And Sugar Breaks in the long run, the band that we were in originally with Richard, we've been working on an album for 3 years now, and COVID's kind of fucked it, but we'll get there eventually. There's 15 songs, which we might whittle down, but it's songs that have been written over the course of...
Maybe we'll have to release them one song at a time even.
Yeah. It's 15 songs that have been written and rewritten over 15 years in some cases, so we're very proud of all of them. At this stage, maybe the recordings will be shit. But the songs that are tried and true, maybe because the people that have always listened to them have Stockholm Syndrome. So thanks again for listening. We hope you can hear more of our material soon. Might see you for a second season. If not, you can hear some of our tunes on the usual rivers and streams.
Yep.
And if we do gigs, come and see us at the gigs. And if you like prompt songs, come up to us and say, hey, I love prompt songs. And we'll give you a pat on the shoulder. How are we going to end it? Or are we just going to end it there?
That's it for this episode. To access lyrics and photos from the recording of this show, or just to stay updated with releases and relevant news, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or Reddit. Your support and feedback is much appreciated, so leave us a comment on what you enjoyed, or send in a prompt of your own that you would like one or all of us to tackle. Thanks for listening. Catch you next time. Prompt Songs Podcast is the independent work of Ryan Eddie Hale, Adam Riddell, and Sam Swindells. All music featured is original, and all relevant rights belong to those parties.
Some other time.